Hey guys, it's Jason Osborne here with another episode of Atomic Impact Podcast. And on today's show, I have the privilege of interviewing Jamshed Durrani. He is an award-winning leadership and mindset coach, and he's the founder of Catalyst Coach and creator of Quality Code, which I believe I'm saying that right. I always get it wrong when I say it, but it's a breakthrough framework where he's really helping founders lead with alignment, not adrenaline, which I know a lot of founders kind of live off adrenaline, so that we can dive deeper into that a little bit. And he's also author of Lead from the Core, which is endorsed by Dr. Marshall Goldsmith. So, Jamshed, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, Jason. Great to be here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to just diving into a little bit around this. And before I do, I'm always just curious, like, tell us a little bit about your business and what do you do?
Well, I am the founder of the Catalytic Coach, as you said, and the creator of Kalb Code.
Yes,
Um,
always
it,
say it wrong.
Kalb is actually just to give a little background. Kalb is actually an Arabic word which means heart, but it's not the literal heart, but more of the inner self.
Okay, very good.
Um, it's basically a leadership recalibration method that helps high performers, founders, CEOs, and consultants to lead from alignment and not adrenaline.
Yes, yeah, which is really, really powerful. Well, what do you think's the main? I'm kind of changing some of my questions here I normally ask, but just while you're talking about this alignment and adrenaline, what do you find is the biggest challenge with that, and what hinders people from actually growing in their business when they're leading by adrenaline?
See, most leadership today is performative. Um,
Yeah,
it looks good on paper, but feels hollow inside. So and reactivates purpose and helps leaders scale from the core of who they are.
yeah,
I work with both individual founders and even corporate teams, and I've also launched for my secondary thing, which is called the Muslim Coach. It's called the Ummah CEO. It's a faith integrated business leadership program designed specifically for the Muslim entrepreneurs, helping them build legacy aligned ventures.
right. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of it's about the alignment of what they're doing as opposed to just leading through the adrenaline and maybe what is maybe common themes or threads in normal business when they may be doing it performance based, but they're just not really feeling aligned. Is it that they're feeling kind of uh, just tired, exhausted, and feeling like
Burnout.
they're just not who they are?
Exactly. It's more it's burnout, yes, but again, you get the satisfaction of your success, but then inside you feel nothing. You're numb.
Yeah, yeah, which can definitely help with a lot of leaders, owners, founders for sure. Um, Kind of almost being driven by the machine and kind of losing yourself a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things I always like to ask people on this podcast, because this is all about just helping other entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders, and I'm always just curious around this question: if you were somehow, Jamshed, able to go back in time to your younger self when you were starting your first business, what's the number one piece of advice that you would give yourself when you were starting out?
Ooh, I can say that very easily because that's an advice I keep giving to all my clients every time, and that's don't build from applause, build from alignment. See, in the early days, I chased metrics, followers, income milestones, flashy positioning. But I was building a business from my wounded self, not my whole self.
Yeah.
So if I had slowed down to recalibrate my inner code earlier, I would have scaled faster with less burnout and more joy.
Yeah, yeah. So say that again. Build build from what, not from
So don't build
applause?
from applause. Don't build
Yeah.
from applause. Build from alignment.
Yes. Okay. So really some key things there. And what do you think when someone's starting off, or even when if they're, fairly well established, what do you think is the culprit of people trying to build for applause?
See, in the chase of meeting your KPIs and your metrics and all that, people forget their inner self.
Hmm.
And they kind of like, they kind of like it gets ignored, which is why by the time they hit all their KPIs and their metrics are going where they want them to be, that satisfaction is not there inside.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So they're almost building from what they see outwardly what other businesses are doing, and they think
Exactly.
that's what they need to do as well. And then they find out after, a year, 5 years that they're just hollow. Is
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So that's really what your core speciality is helping people with that.
Exactly. Because when you're aligned with everything, I have noticed from my personal experience, I've noticed it from a lot of my clients that I've worked with, that when you're aligned with everything, everything just flows smoothly. And the satisfaction it brings is something, no matter what else you do, it's not there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's amazing, man. I think that's really important to do. One of the other things I like to ask, it's a little bit of a it's similar question but different, and I want you, if it's all right, think about something outside of the applause and alignment side of it. This is something that just you've done in your business, and it's a mistake that you've made. But in that mistake, it's been one of the biggest learnings. Again, outside of the applause and alignment side, it could be something managerial, it could be something in terms of systems or processes or marketing or whatever. But what's one of the biggest mistakes that you've made that actually, when you go back, you think, do you know what? I hated it at the time, but I'm so glad it happened now because this is what has resulted in that.
In one word, overgiving.
Okay, tell me
Because
about that.
as a coach, I thought over delivering was value, right? Especially when I was like early in my career in this. But really, it was a disguised form of people pleasing.
Mm,
I burned out in the process, yes. Clients got overwhelmed, and it was nobody won. Now I focus on intentional transformation over excessive information.
mm,
So clear boundaries create better results.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's really interesting. I think that's important for a lot of coaches in the coaching space as well, because I started my whole online journey almost 20 years ago as a life coach. That's how I built up my first online business, and and I did that as well. A lot of just over giving, and I found that to be exactly the same way. It's like the more information I tried to share, it just overwhelmed my clients. I was trying to give so much, but it was information overload for them. And
Exactly.
I realized that the smaller, still value. I mean, obviously you still want to give them value, but the smaller chunks to help them just focus on those, as you said, it's really intentional, made all the difference in the world. Um, for those coaches, any coaches listening to this, and they don't necessarily have to be a coach. It could be maybe they're a consultant or maybe in any business. But that over giving side, what's what's the first step, or what's one tip that you could give to people to help them to start to change that, where they still feel authentic and aligned, where they're helping people, but they can start finding that balance where they don't have to overgive because it's actually more detrimental doing that. What's one step to help them start doing that?
See, for that, I'm a master coach as well, so I actually train coaches as well. And one word of advice I always give, or if I can share an experience, like one of my
Yeah.
clients or students, um, she didn't know how to start a discovery call. So I said, it's a very simple thing. She goes, no, but what do I say? I say, you say nothing. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, you don't say anything. You just sit there and you listen.
Mm.
Because as a coach, we forget we're not here to sit and talk for hours or to give advices or suggest what to do or make your goals for you. We don't. We are here just to listen to what that client has to say. And based on whatever the client is saying, based on that, we're supposed to respond.
Yeah.
So, again, I would say do not try to overgive, just stay quiet. Take in as much as you can. Process everything that's been given it, fed to you. Let it all come out onto you. You be the scapegoat kind of for your client. So yeah, you don't have to talk, but once you're done and you're analyzing all the information and all that, don't think, oh, I can give this as well. Oh, I can give that as well. No, stick to a minimum.
Yeah.
Stick to a minimum, but make sure it's powerful enough to get the results that you're looking to achieve.
Mm. Yeah. It reminds me that saying that quote, I think everyone knows, but I don't think we listen to it very often, but sometimes less is more.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Especially especially from a coach's point of view.
I was just getting ready to say that as well, especially from a coach, because most coaches I know they have a really big heart and they're really there to help people, and so it can feel almost inauthentic to not share something you think is going to be helpful, but it's learning actually if you share too much and give too much information, they don't people don't actually in absorb it. They can't comprehend it. And as you said, just those ones, just listening, giving just small things to help them move forward. Um, Man, I totally agree with you. I love this stuff. I've worked with a lot of coaches over my career as well, and I just see that this is one of the biggest pitfalls that a lot of coaches have. And often, actually, I'd like to get your thoughts on this as well. One of the things I've found with coaches that do that, their business actually it hinders their growth in their business, and they get really frustrated because they're like, I'm giving all the time, I don't understand why my business isn't growing. um, what's one or two thoughts on that, like being able to grow your business by actually, I'm going to say give less, and I don't mean that you don't help people, but where that actually helps grow their business? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I said just a while back, like you give enough to be able to achieve the goal that you're looking to achieve,
Yeah.
right? Now, when you come on and say a discovery call with a client and you bombard them with information that, oh, this is what we need to do, that is what, chances are that's the last time you're speaking to that person, because that person is not coming back. He's got nothing to lose. He hasn't paid you for a package yet. He hasn't paid for the call, so chances are he's not coming back. Chances are he speaks to somebody who's looking for a coach and they'll be, oh, don't go to that guy, he's just going to bombard you with information. So there, your market's gone, you're losing your customers already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, just keep your information to a minimum.
Yeah.
If you feel like, a lot of time people, they feel so good in speaking to you that you actually listen to them, that they go off track and they start sharing a lot of personal information with you as well. Take it, but ignore that aspect. That's not required. You don't need it. So don't try to come back to them and say, oh, let me help you with this as well. Don't do that. Stick to
Yeah.
the main focus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. And I think you're absolutely right that when you overwhelm people with information, they either just get overwhelmed and just don't know what to do with it and they never come back, or they leave going, oh, I've got everything I need. They don't implement. And so they don't come back to you anyway because they think they've gotten everything. Um, when really they haven't. So, I literally, I could talk about this for hours. I love talking about this stuff. It's so incredible, man. Well, very, very quickly, what's your, over the next 5 years, what's your goal in your business? What are you wanting to achieve?
Well, for my immediate goal at the moment is to get Culp Code more accredited as a global leadership methodology
Okay.
and embedded into more like executive education across both corporate and faith-based sectors.
Yeah.
And of course, to do that, I'm focusing on three things. One is publishing flagship content like my book, Lead from the Core, um, Burnout to Baraka. securing endorsements like Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, and building strategic alliances with organizations and aligned to conscious leadership.
Yeah.
So this is my main goal that I'm working towards at the moment.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's really, really cool. Man, well, I know you'll definitely get there for sure. Well, we're coming up to the end. Like as always, these are atomic impacts podcasts, so they're very short, bite-sized chunks for people. So, because I'm all about LinkedIn, I always ask this question. Tell me something that you would love to achieve more on LinkedIn, because obviously we connected on LinkedIn, and that's
Yeah.
kind of where we met. But what are you wanting to achieve more on LinkedIn?
Honestly, real conversations.
Mm,
I mean, I've grown tired of surface level content farming, and I want to use LinkedIn to amplify depth,
yeah,
challenge leadership norms, and connect with decision makers who care about culture as much as cash flow.
yeah,
I mean, the
yeah,
goal
yeah.
is visibility with integrity, not just reach.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it, and it's so key. There's a lot of noise on LinkedIn because people just don't know what they're doing. But when it's done right, it's absolutely game changing when you have those authentic conversations. So, yeah, we can always chat about that later. But listen, I love what you do. I love your heart around what you're doing and helping coaches with stuff. And I know some people might be going, "Hey, I love what you're saying as well." So, how can people find you? What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Best way would be my website, which is catalyticcoach.com, or they can connect with me directly on LinkedIn at the rate of Catalytic Coach again. And I post
Amazing.
regularly about leadership, embodiment, mindset, and scaling with soul. I also have a
Yeah.
newsletter over there if anyone's interested. So yeah,
Fantastic. Well, all that will be in the show notes. So if you're listening to this or watching this, just look at the show notes and the links will be in there for easy access for you to connect with Jamshed. So listen, man, thank you so much for taking the time out today, being on the podcast. Some really great nuggets of information there for people. So again, just massive welcome and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you, Jason.